Good evening, everyone. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Arena for the last time of Season 18. Please welcome our guests from Horizon High School. They are the Hawks. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Before we begin our game this evening, we invite you to please stand as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. And now, let's meet the lineups for both teams, beginning with our guests from Horizon. And starting at wing with 5'7" sophomore, number 1, Emma Andrulis. At guard, 5'4" senior, number 3, Sienna Astorino. At wing, 5'9" senior, number 12, Amaya Mitchell. At guard, 5'6" junior, number 21, Zoe Corche. And finally, for the Hawks at guard, 5'9" junior, number 22, Bailey Travis. The head coach of the Hawks, Jamie Leggett, and assistant coaches Keith DeVoe and Brian Travis. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting at guard, 5'5" sophomore, number 1, Janaya Poole. At wing, 5'9" freshman, number 3, Kayla Johnson. At power forward, 6' junior, number 15, Tiana Washington. At wing, 5'8" junior, number 23, Michaela Bell. And finally for the Mustangs, 6' senior power forward and the entire Wekiva Mustang basketball senior class of 2025, number 12, Jalissa Miles. The head head coach of the Mustangs, Jerry Middleton, with assistant coaches Heather Lorenz and George Spearman. The officials for tonight's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando. We thank them for their dedicated service to our high school athletic programs and join them along with our participating schools, reminding everyone to make great sportsmanship a part of this and every athletic competition. For those of you who are here in the arena, if you have friends or family who would like to join us from the Horizon side of town, elsewhere in Apopka or anywhere in the world, we are broadcasting live in 2 different places. We are on NFHSnetwork.com, the official home of the Florida High School Athletic Association, or the NFHS Network app on your favorite mobile device. If you are not a member there, that's okay. We are also broadcasting and simulcasting absolutely free on our YouTube channel, Wekiva Sports. Just open up the YouTube app on your favorite computer, smart TV, or mobile device, search Wekiva Sports, and the game should come right up. We would like to welcome those of you who have done just that. My name is Mark Barchi, voice of the Mustangs and sports information director here at Wekiva High School, ready to take you through the last regular season home game of season 18. The Mustangs opening their doors in 2007. We are now headed into 2025. 18th season concludes tonight, at least the regular season for the ladies. Of course, hope's still alive that we may yet host a postseason game here, but we have a little bit of an unusual situation with the schedule. The Mustangs have their last 4 games of the year are all road games. And so that means that we are a little bit earlier than you would typically find senior night, a little bit earlier than you would typically be closing out the home portion of the regular season. Mustangs are intercepted on the inbound. There's Emma Anderlewis, draws some contact on her way up, and she's going to go to the line. Foul called against Mustangs number 1, Shania Poole, her first, the team's first. Emma Anderlewis at the line shooting. First free throw drops, and the Hawks are on the board. Second shot also finds the mark. 2-0 opening for Horizon. And now the Mustangs go to work. To the corner, Bell launches, got it! 3 for Michaela Bell. You'll have to pardon my outbursts tonight. I am covering 2 roles as your broadcast play-by-play and also your public address announcer for those fans who are here in the arena. Amaya Mitchell is off the heel, but then the iron kind as Mitchell gets the jump shot. Now another stolen ball, and we go out to the corner. That one is off the heel for Sienna Astorino on the tray. Iron not as kind to her. Will pop out for another 3. This one connects. Zoe Corjay for 3. So 7-3 opening. And now we get some contact at half court. Foul is called against Hawks. Number 3, Sienna Astorino. That's her first and the team's first. Mustangs will have the ball at half court. Bell inbounds to Janiah Poole to set up the play. Astorino trying to make trouble and is going to get called for it. Push is called against Hawks number 3, Sienna Astorino. That's her second personal foul, the team's second. Checking into the game for the Hawks. Number 10, that's Cassandra Cortez. Put back not successful for Johnson, and the rebound ultimately goes to Andrew Lewis. Now some contact on the guarding action. Foul is called against Mustangs. Number 3, Jacayla Johnson, her first, the team's second. 2 minutes into the first quarter here at Mustang Arena, and it is our end cap to season 18. Again, if you're just joining us, the Mustangs have a little bit of an unusual schedule. We are approaching the end of the season, and we actually do still have a couple weeks left. However, all 4 of the Mustangs' remaining games are on the road, and so even though we are not quite at the end of the season yet, we are still at the end of the home season. We do still have some men's basketball that we're looking forward to bringing you, though. They'll have their senior night later this month, and then, of course, if the Mustangs should find themselves hosting any postseason games, we'll be sure to bring those to you as well. Just be aware that postseason games are exclusively on NFHSnetwork.com, as the media rights to postseason games are held by the FHSAA, not by the host school. The tray, launched by Andrew Lewis, is not going to find the mark this time. Mustangs on the rebound, and now Michaela Bell chases down a loose ball in transition. Getting double-teamed. She's in a lot of trouble. Jacayla Johnson bails her out. And now blocked from behind by Zoe Corjay into the waiting arms of Bailey Travis, and the Hawks take over. Now to the corner, wide open, and it rims out for Cortez. However, second chance basket scored by Bailey Travis, and we'll pause for a Mustang timeout. 30-second timeout requested by Wekiva. Back with more from Mustang Arena in just a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi here with you for the last evening for women's basketball of season 18. Again, barring any postseason opportunities to host a game, this is the last time we know for a fact that we will be here in 2024-2025. Mustangs will take the ball after that follow-up basket by Bailey Travis that took us into the timeout. 9-3, the Hawks have the advantage here in the opening 3 minutes. And now off the backboard, Washington not able to make the withdrawal. Andrew Lewis looking to set up the play, directing traffic. She's going to rotate. And now we're going to get some movement. That's Bailey Travis called on the travel. Mustangs ball. Ball in to Janiyah Poole. And she'll take it to the front court unencumbered. Johnson thought about taking the tray herself. Instead, it's deflected out of bounds. I believe that was Amaya Mitchell that got a paw on it. And now we're out to Sanaya Asanya, who snuck into the game during the timeout when you weren't looking. And now we're going to get some contact against Jacayla Johnson. Foul is called against number 10, Cassandra Cortez. That's her first personal foul, the team's third. Another deflection. Officials are going to say it stays with Wekiva. Hawks, though, certainly doing their job of harassing the Mustangs and disrupting the momentum. 4:29 to go here in the first quarter. Bell goes to the top of the arc. Nobody there. Open shot, but it's wide right for Poole. And now under the basket, Tiana Washington is going to hustle the rebound, but is unable to avoid walking with it as she's called for traveling. Hawks ball. 4:23 now to go in the first quarter. The Mustangs have just a single field goal to their name tonight. And that's the tray from Michaela Bell. Other than that, there's been a tight lid over that basket. And now the inside pass intended for Mitchell is swatted away. Hawks managed to stay in control, though. Will go to the middle, wide open, easy play. That's Zoe Corjay on the pass to Bailey Travis. 4 points now for Bailey Travis. She's got about a third of the Hawks' offensive production. And now Michaela Bell needed Janiyah Poole to grow about 3 inches if she was going to pull that down. Paris Blackwood is into the game for the Mustangs. The Hawks will send in number 11, Sophia Duquesne. Ball into Corjay. Of course, if you joined us for the senior night ceremony, you heard us announce, let me get back to that in a second. Amaya Mitchell on the pass from Zoe Corjay. As I was saying a moment ago, if you joined us for senior night on the other broadcast, you heard us recognize 8, count them 8 seniors for Horizon. The Mustangs have just one, and that's Jalissa Miles, who is not on the court right now, but she was a starter tonight. Foul called against Hawks number 22, Bailey Travis. That's her first personal foul, the team's 4th. Tray released, and there it is. Splash, 3 for Michaela Bell. Well, she's done that twice, and that is the sum total of Wekiva's offensive production, 6 points to 13. Mustangs block is called against number 15, Tiana Washington, her first, the team's 3rd. And of course, just in case you were away on an Antarctic expedition without internet access last season, you may not be aware that we changed the rules on team fouls. So last season, the FHSAA and the NFHS adopted the, I'll call them NBA-style rules for bonus. Previously, we had been using NCAA women's-style rules for bonus. Foul is called against Hawks, number 22, Bailey Travis. That's her second personal foul. The team's 5th penalty situation. That'll send the Mustangs to the free throw line. As I was mentioning before, we now go to 2-shot bonus on the 5th foul of the quarter. Previously, we went to 1-on-1 bonus on the 7th foul of the half and then 2-shot bonus on the 10th. So that system is gone. We now use the NBA style. At the line, shooting 2, Jacayla Johnson. Johnson looking for her first points of the night. And will not get it there. Hawks send in Nyree James. And the second one falls. So Jacayla Johnson gets her name in the scorebook. Of course, we're being particular, all the names go in the scorebook at the beginning. But hers has a number next to it now. Inside pass. Not there for Mitchell. They did everything right on that play other than get it in. Now to the corner. 3 players on Jacayla Johnson, and that'll get it done. Nyree James ultimately comes up with the steal. Corjay finds the glass, but nothing else. Now back out for the tray. That's off the heel. And Paris Blackwood just didn't have the timing right on that rebound jump. Stays with the Hawks. 2:19 to go here in the first quarter. Not a particularly high-scoring affair so far, but the Hawks outscoring the Mustangs on a nearly 2-to-1 ratio. To the corner, the tray released, and just a bit hot coming from Sophia Duke. And now Michaela Bell trying to see if she can make something happen in transition. Ultimately ends up getting double team 2-on-1. And it's taken away by Nyree James. It's ultimately going to come a held ball. Possession, Mustangs. 2 minutes even to go here in the first quarter. Returning to the game for the Mustangs, number 12, Jalissa Miles. And friendly fire will deprive the Mustangs of the possession as Sanaya Sanya gets tangled up with Jalissa Miles on a miscommunication. Now transition play to Nairi James, and she takes a step, called for traveling. Mustangs ball. At least for the moment, the Hawks will back off on the full court pressure, and a beautiful pass, and it cashes in. That's Paris Blackwood to Jalissa Miles. So she will get her points in the book as well on senior night, carrying the torch for the class of 2025. Wekiva does have 3 senior managers on the team, but Miles the only player on the court or bench who will be graduating in May. I'll be there for that as well, as the voice of the Mustangs duties have somehow over the years expanded to include graduation in addition to athletic events, so I'll be the name reader again this year. And Jalissa will be one of those names that I read. 63 seconds to go here in the first. It's swatted away by Bell. Trey released from the corner, not going to find the mark. In transition, Shakayla Johnson almost had it, but is able to at least pull down her own rebound. Now inside to Miles, and she's got it. Jalissa Miles. Trey is just a little too hot coming in from Cassandra Cortez. Sanaya Sanya has the rebound, under 30 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Wekiva certainly the underdog in this game. Wekiva has just been unduly disadvantaged last season and this season as and when a ball gets stuck in the rim, that's the equivalent of a held ball. So the possession arrow goes to the Hawks. That takes us to the end of the first quarter. And it is back to a 2-point ball game. Some late action by the Mustangs have closed what was up to a 7-point gap, and now the Mustangs on a 4-0 run to end the period, and that means it's a one-possession ball game. 13-11, the Hawks have the advantage going into our first break. The Mustangs have the opening possession of the second quarter. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with you for our next 8 minutes, and most likely the 16 after that too. It was starting to look pretty bleak for the Mustangs as we got to the early and midpoint of the first quarter. However, Wekiva redeemed themselves admirably in the closing couple of minutes, going on a 4-0 run. 2 unanswered possessions to take it back to a 2-point ball game. So Wekiva still in this. Again, Wekiva, something of an underdog in this scenario. Horizon is 11-5 going into this game. Wekiva, on the other hand, 5-13. And that record may be a little bit deceiving. Wekiva has played a particularly challenging schedule, and in addition to that, Wekiva has been beset by injuries, both last year and this year. A lot of the Mustangs' star talent has unfortunately been unable to participate. Fouls called against Hawks. Number 1, Emma Anderlewis. That's her first personal foul, the team's first, as she snuck into the game during the break between quarters. And now more contact. So Emma Anderlewis is called again on the foul. That'd be 2 for her. Fast break opportunity, and Michaela Bell in transition for 2. So the coast-to-coast pass there will put the Mustangs to a tie game, and the Mustangs have now gone on a 6-0 run across the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second, and that has erased what was up to a 7-point lead for the Hawks. Full timeout requested by the Hawks. Back with more from Mustang Arena in just a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with you as we wrap up Season 18 and get ready to head into a couple of weeks of away games to wrap up the regular season, and then we get into the postseason, of course. That's another change if you've been following high school basketball for any number of years. Until recently, the FHSAA had men's basketball and women's basketball in offsetting weeks. The ladies would always start the season and end the season 1 week earlier than the men would. And that also meant that the postseason, including the state tournaments, were offset by a week. The girls would have their state series, and then the boys would have theirs. That was changed a couple of years ago, and so now it's concurrent. The ladies and the men's tournaments run on top of each other, and they have alternating series of games, and bounces out for Sophia Duca, and that one looked like it had all the points had already scored, and then they came right back out. And now, to use a football analogy, the wide receiver was not running the same play as the quarterback, and that's going to be a turnover. Mustangs take over. And again, Horizon will relax the full court pressure. At least for now, to Miles at the top of the key. That's not there. Rebound bounces to Zoe Corjay, and we're going to get some contact. Foul is called on Mustangs. Number 15, Washington. That's her second personal foul, the team's first of this quarter. Paris Blackwood returns to the game for Wekiva. And here again, no full court pressure at the moment. Wekiva will settle into their half court set. Stop, pop, no drop, nothing but air on that jumper. Rebound going to Amaya Mitchell. The second chance basket's not going to fall either. And now the ball comes loose from Janiah Poole into the key, and the Hawks are there and ready to take advantage. Astorino looking for an opportunity. She'll back it off to Mitchell. And now Mitchell gets the ball taken out from under her by Janiah Poole. Hawks stay in control, though. Bounce pass to Emma Andrelus. And now dribbling to the key and letting it go is Astorino, but that's short. She'll pick up her own rebound, though. Andrew Lewis will try to take it in herself, and she gets tangled up with Jalissa Miles. No hand-to-arm contact, though, so it's a no call. And it falls out of bounds off the Hawks. Mustangs will pick up a team defensive rebound here. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, number 3, Jakayla Johnson. If you joined us earlier in the week, see the Mustangs play Haines City. That's another elite team that came to visit as we get a stolen layup from Sienna Astorino. First points of the second quarter, and it took 3.5 minutes to get them from either team. But it does break the tie for the first time since we went into the intermission. Block is called against Hawks, number 1, Emma Anderlewis. That's her third personal foul, the team's third of this quarter. Checking into the game for her is number 10, Cassandra Cortez. So unsurprisingly, Andrew Lewis comes off with 3 fouls and still over 20 game minutes left to play. That's unsurprising. She was a starter. Coach Middleton tried to get a timeout, but the Mustangs had already lost possession to a loose ball, so the referees do not grant it to him. That'll be a turnover to the Hawks, opportunity to extend their lead. Stolen away by Jakayla Johnson. She's got nothing but open court in front of her, and she cashes in. Jakayla Johnson, coast to coast. Transition pass, and Janiah Poole took one too many steps before she let that layup go and gets an instant ball return. Sienna Astorino through traffic for the 2. 4 points for her tonight, and it puts the Hawks back on top. So again, this week the Mustangs have taken on 2 teams with far superior records to their own, Haines City and now Horizon. And earlier in the week, the Mustangs competed against, and in fact had the lead against Haines City going into halftime. However, the Mustangs, unfortunately, were just not able to keep the pace in the second half. I talked to Coach Lorenz after the game, and she shared my assessment as with a layup by Amaya Mitchell. Everything they want. Full timeout requested by Horizon. We'll come back and talk about that some more in just a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi here with you to finish out Season 18 for women's basketball. Although, again, we do have some more home games for the men's team. Got a couple more of those before we get to senior night. Fouls called against number 1, Janiyah Poole. That'll be her second personal foul, the team's second of this quarter. And it sends Cassandra Cortez to the line, shooting 2 for the Hawks. Cortez looking for her first points tonight. As I started to say earlier in the week when we saw Wekiva face off with Haines City, the Mustangs actually were leading at the midpoint of that game. That looked like we were going to have an upset special. But then Haines City, a team that plays a high-speed transition, fast break kind of offense, which is not the game that Wekiva plays, just based on the unique skills of their players this year. And Haines City did an excellent job, particularly in the second half, of forcing Wekiva to play Haines City's style of basketball, which Wekiva was just not prepared to do and did not have the stamina to maintain that speed over the course of the game. And so second half was a bit of a runaway for Haines City, despite the lead that Wekiva had established in the first half. So now we'll see what happens this time. Again, Wekiva has stayed right in it against this 11-5 Horizon team. And Horizon has some pretty quality wins. They've defeated Lakeland, Olympia, West Orange, Innovation, Apopka, Harmony, East River, Leesburg, Bishop Moore, Apopka again, and Windermere. Windermere was quite the blowout, 83-13. That happened a little over a week ago. They lost to Windermere Prep earlier this week. There's no shame in that. That was a 58-50 ball game. A short inbound, little bunny hop, there it is. Amaya Mitchell off the inbound from Astorino. And now the Hawks are back up to a 6-point lead. They've been as high as 7 earlier in the first quarter, and Mustangs on a little bit of a slump here in the second quarter. It's been 8-4 in favor of Horizon since we came back from the break. Of course, Wekiva had a 6-0 run going from the last 2 minutes of the first quarter into the first minute or so of the second quarter. And that erased the previous deficit. Now we go to the deck. Held ball, possession Hawks. Hawks narrowly avoid the 5 count on the inbound. Basket not there for Mitchell, and now in trouble in the key is Jacayla Johnson, and we've got another held ball. This time, possession Mustangs. So Wekiva still comes up with it, but they will have to give up the possession arrow. Under a minute to play here in the first half. As Michaela Bell makes her way to the front court, I thought Astorino might have gotten a paw on that one, but not enough to deflect it. Short on the tray from Jacayla Johnson. And now it looked for a second like Corjay was going to try to go to the house herself. Instead, she pops it out, and the tray is not there. Bailey Travis is called on her third personal foul. It's the team's 4th of this period. Checking in for her is number 20, Olivia Green. Asanya in trouble in the key. Manages to get some help from Bell. Bell is short. And the rebound bounces to Sophia Duke. The tray bounces out for Astorino. Sanaya Asanya, the tallest person on the court, comes up with the rebound. Johnson finds Blackwood. Beautiful pass. Jacayla Johnson to Paris Blackwood. And that will be the last word of the first half. as the Hawks built up almost to their highest lead of the game, but the Mustangs will shave a little bit off of that as we get to the end of the period. 21-17 is your score headed into intermission here on senior night of season 18 from Mustang Arena. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Parchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with you for the second half of what has been a back-and-forth contest. Wekiva has briefly led, and they've gotten it back to a tie, and now opening basket of the second half goes to Amaya Mitchell. Push is called against Hawks number 1. That's her 4th personal foul, the team's first of this half. So just as quickly as she got back on the court, she'll go off the court. 4 fouls and still nearly 16 minutes of game left to play. Three for Jacayla Johnson. Foul is called against Mustangs, number 23, Michaela Bell. That's her first personal foul, the team's first of this quarter, and it sends Amaya Mitchell to the line, shooting 2 for the Hawks. Amaya Mitchell, the leading scorer for Horizon with 10, make it 11 now. Hits both. Asanya in trouble. She's got to throw it to somebody, and she throws it directly into a double-team trap. Bell is able to get out of that and get it to Jacayla Johnson, but she doesn't have a path and has to wait for her teammates to catch up to set up the half court. To the corner. Sideways bounce pass. And almost too much heat for Jacayla Johnson to reel in, but the Mustangs keep it back under control. Bell goes back to the corner, and the shot is blocked by Sienna Astorino. Michaela Bell saw an opportunity for an interception there, but is not able to stay in bounds to make it. Three for Sienna Astorino. Sanaya Sanya is called on the foul. That's her first personal, the team's second of this quarter. Off the heel on the tray attempt from Travis. That's off the Hawks. Mustangs will take over at their own baseline. And now the full court pressure is turned up. Mustangs escape though, and the Hawks bench wanted a traveling call there. They didn't get it. Trey released by Johnson, not going to fall this time. Coast to coast, blocked by Michaela Bell, who tracked Amaya Mitchell perfectly, but now the outlet pass is wildly off the mark and turns the ball over. Now 3 touches, and the Hawks did everything right on that play other than get it in. Mitchell just not able to connect there. And now we're going to get a team control foul. Offensive foul is called against Mustangs number 23, Michaela Bell. Her second personal, the team's third. Tiana Washington comes up with a rebound. And now beautiful pass, but too much heat from Jacayla Johnson from under the basket. Held ball. Possession Mustangs. Jalissa Miles returns to the game for Wekiva, giving the Mustangs 100% more seniors than they had just a moment ago on the court. Asanya can't hold her dribble. It's picked off by Bailey Travis from behind, and she goes coast to coast. Too much heat on the layup, though. And Horizon unable to cash in on the gift from Wekiva. "30-second timeout requested by Wekiva. Back with more in just a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi here with you for the last 11 minutes and 51 seconds of regular season home action here at Wekiva. At least for women's basketball. We do have some more men's games. And of course, we'll be coming to you with baseball and softball when the time comes. Jacayla Johnson gets the ball back for the Mustangs, passes to Bell, and everything is lost in the fracas. I think Washington lost that ball to Amaya Mitchell. This was a problem for Wekiva earlier in the week when they played Haines City, that suddenly the pace of the game just disrupted their ball control. 3 for Zoe Korjang. 6 points for her tonight. That's what she's got is 2 trays. Washington again loses the ball, this time to Bailey Travis. She stops, pops, but walks first. No basket. Traveling Mustangs ball. Ball into Michaela Bell. Sanaya Sanya on the Mustang jumper. Her first points of the night. Cuts the game back to 9. And that tray is over the backboard, and on to other travels. Horizon will again back off on the full court pressure, dropping back into the set. Asanya looked like she briefly considered a three and then thought better of it. And maybe she did, because Kayla Johnson, three. 9 points for her tonight, and you can guess how those came to be next to her name. Certainly a boon for the Mustangs' momentum. It cuts the lead back to 6. Had been high as 11. Tiana Washington comes up with the rebound. Now Asanya gets the ball to the front court. Washington, one bounce. There it is. And one. Tiana Washington with a basket and a chance to make it a three-point play. The foul is called against number 15. Her first personal foul, the team's second. Washington shooting one. Three-point play is not there, but Jalissa Miles is. Sonia barely manages to keep possession. Horizon putting the heat on. A tray is off the heel for Michaela Bell. And now to the floor we go. Held ball. Possession, Hawks. To the paint. Layup not there. Bailey Travis put a little too much heat on that one. Sanaya Sanya gets to the front court quickly. Under a minute to play in the third quarter. The Mustangs trying to get back to at least where they started the half. Blackwood got it. Michaela Bell to Paris Blackwood for two. Blackwood sneaking into the game just recently. Looked like she wasn't even going to reel in the pass, then she converts it to points. And now we are back to where we started. Well, at least we were for a moment. Amaya Mitchell for the Hawks. 14 points for her. Mustangs really struggling to come up with answers. She's got almost half of the Hawks' offensive production. Three is too hot coming in from Jacayla Johnson. That takes us to the end of the third quarter. And the Horizon Hawks have added just two. Excuse me, have added nothing to the lead. It's a 12-12 third quarter. And so we started with a 4-point advantage for the Hawks, and we'll end with one as well. And going into the last 8 minutes, 33-29 is your score. Back with more in a moment. The Mustangs have the opening possession of the fourth quarter. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Parchi here would take you through the last 8 minutes of Wekiva Women's Basketball Season 18, at least the home portion of it. Mustangs have kept this within reach. Traveling Hawks ball. Lead has been as high as 11, but every time it looks like this game is about to be decided, the Mustangs bring it back. This will be a boon, though, for the Hawks. Amaya Mitchell gets the basket and a chance to make it a three-point play. The foul is called against Mustangs. Number 33, Paris Blackwood, her first personal foul, the team's first of this quarter. And the old-fashioned three-point play is converted. That brings Amaya Mitchell's grand total for the game up to 17. Again, almost half of the offensive production for the Hawks coming from her fingertips. Blocked from behind by Jacayla Johnson. 7:07 to go in the ball game. 7-point advantage for Horizon. Again, that advantage has been as high as 11. Wekiva has always kept it within shouting distance. They will need a final push here when stamina is the hardest to come by, though. Spin move. Washington gets the ball out, and Michaela Bell is there to sweep up. Now Bell nearly gets her dribble away from her. She's trapped in the edge, right on the end line, manages to escape to Blackwood, but then Blackwood gets called for a double dribble violation. Hawks ball. So the Mustangs escape one turnover only to fall into a different one. Emma Anderlewis is fouled on the way up. She'll go to the line and shoot two. Foul's called against Sanaya Asanya, her second, the team's second of this quarter. So Emma Anderlewis, who has not seen a ton of minutes in the second half on account of being in foul trouble, draws the foul herself here. She has 4, so she'll need to keep her nose clean for the next 6 minutes and 39 seconds if she wants to finish this one out. Second basket is good. 30-second timeout requested by the Mustangs. Excuse me, that's the Hawks that requested the 30-second timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. 6:39 to go here in the fourth quarter. And a 37-29 advantage for the Hawks. Asanya has Washington. Beautiful pass and drawing the contact. Foul's called against Amaya Mitchell. That's her first personal foul, the team's first of this quarter. Tiana Washington at the line, shooting 2. Washington, below average offensive production for her tonight. She certainly has a lot of intangibles on the court, though. Just 2 points in the books. First one is short, no points for style, but still a point on the scoreboard. Second one is much the same. It finds its way in an awkward manner, but still finds its way in. Emma Andrew Lewis going head-to-head with Sanaya Asanya. Pops out to the corner, wide open, but Sienna Astorino won't take the 3. 6-point ball game. Going to the house, Sanaya Asanya using her superior height to block Emma Andrew Lewis. Now the transition pass, and this time contact drawn as Janiyah Poole fouled on the way up. She'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called. Amaya Mitchell is called on her second personal foul, the team's second of this quarter. First one bounces out. Second one finds the mark. And Janiyah Poole is in the book. Basket by Amaya Mitchell. Tiana Washington draws the contact. She'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against Bailey Travis, her 4th personal foul, the team's 3rd of this quarter. So now Tiana Washington, who has 4 points, 2 of which came pretty recently from the free throw line. So the Mustangs will hope that she's still feeling that heat. Has an opportunity to close the game to 5. It's her first. And now 2 players on the court staring down the barrel of fouling out. Emma Andrew Lewis and Bailey Travis, both with 4, as Washington is now 4 for 4 in the last 2 trips she's taken to the free throw line. Beautiful bounce pass, but also beautiful coverage by Poole. Tray not going to fall. Asanya gets in the way of that one, and Michaela Bell is there to convert it into a steal and draw the foul. Foul called against number 12, Amaya Mitchell. That's her 3rd personal foul, the team's 4th of this period. So in a game that could come down to a matter of 1 or 2 possessions, the Mustangs now enjoy that 2-shot penalty bonus for the rest of the game. No shot traveling. Hawks ball. That's probably about the 3rd or 4th time one player or another has done that for Wekiva. Taking a step from a standing position before the jump shot. 5:15 to go. Mustangs looking for at least 3 unanswered possessions. That's all they really need to get back into this. Jacayla Johnson has the rebound. And one of them could come right here. Bounce pass. Washington will not take the shot herself. Instead, she drops out to Asanya. And it's Sanaya Asanya from Tiana Washington for 2. The long jumper, not officially a 3, but still. Answered with a 3 from Sophia Duke. So just when you thought the Mustangs might have an unanswered basket, Shania Poole, 3. That's the first field goal of the game for her, and it couldn't come at a better time. Mustangs close that gap right back to 3. Now a one-possession ball game. Jalissa Miles returns to the game for Wekiva. And keep in mind, at least on paper, Wekiva kind of the underdogs in this game. They are 5-13. Horizon is 11-5. And it should be noted that 11-5, at least some of those 11 wins are against quality opponents. Swatted away by Sophia Duke. And now Sienna Astorino is in for Decay. Looks like the Mustangs and the Hawks are going to deliver on an exciting finish here in the last home game of the regular season. Michaela Bell coast to coast, just not quite enough on the layup. And then Andrew Lewis comes up with it, stops short, loses her dribble, manages to stop on a dime without sliding. That was pretty impressive. Avoiding the travel call there, and a spin move in the key from Amaya Mitchell. To the corner. Jaquela Johnson can't get that tray to fall, and now one person to beat for Bailey Travis. But she's called for traveling. Mustangs ball. Washington and Blackwood back into the game for Wekiva. The Mustangs will request full timeout. Full timeout called by Wekiva. That'll leave Wekiva with 2 full timeouts and Horizon with 1.5. While this is your last chance to catch Wekiva at home during the regular season, they do have 4 more opportunities to see them on the road. They will be traveling on Wednesday to West Orange, then a week from tonight on Friday to Timber Creek, a week from Tuesday to Lake Highland Prep, and a week from next Wednesday to Bishop Moore. That will wrap up the home or the away schedule for season 18. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi here with you for what could be an exciting conclusion. It's a 5-point ball game. Mustangs have the ball. They could cut it to a 1-possession lead right here. Wekiva has had it down to a 1-possession ball game, and they do it again. Tiana Washington gets her own putback. And now it's 3 points separating these two teams. Very even. We went into this quarter with a 4-point lead for the Hawks. We went into the third quarter with a 4-point lead for the Hawks, and now it's a 3-point lead for the Hawks. So Wekiva pretty much dollar for dollar matching Horizon pretty much since halftime. Foul called against Mustangs. Number 3, Jacayla Johnson, her second, the team's third. Bounce pass to Sienna Astorino. She takes the spin move, got a wide open Emma Anderlewis from Sienna Astorino for 2. And the Mustangs just blew that coverage. They took an extra man to cover Astorino, and it cost them. Now the trade doesn't fall for Jacayla Johnson. Wekiva trying to get it back to a one-possession game, and they do! 3 for Michaela Bell. 11 points for her as she joins the double-figure club. Amaya Mitchell is leading scorer for Horizon with 21. Emma Anderlewis draws the foul on the way up. She'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against Sanaya Asanya, her third, the team's fourth. So that's also a critical foul because now it means both teams will enjoy bonus for the remainder of the ball game. This, of course, is a shooting foul, so it didn't matter whether it was bonus or not. Anderlewis with 5 points has seen a lot fewer minutes than she would normally see in a game for Horizon on account of foul trouble, and the first free throw is off the heel. Two-point ball game. These are critical free throws because they determine whether it's a 1 or a 2 possession ball game and whether a tray is necessary for Wekiva. All right, so she does not make it a 2 possession game, but she does at least make it a 3-point ball game. And Michaela Bell with a bounce pass right through the legs of Tiana Washington. Timeout Hawks. Full timeout requested by Horizon. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs and sports information director here at Wekiva, joining you for the last 75 seconds of what looks like it might be a photo finish. Sanaya Asanya making herself as big as she possibly can. And now contact. Foul's called against number 32, Sanaya Asanya. That's her 4th personal foul, the team's 5th, and that will put the Hawks into bonus. At the line, shooting 2, is number 21, Zoe Corjay. Corjay with 6 points. That's her first. These are the high-pressure free throw situations that you train for. This will make it a 2-possession ball game. Hits them both. And a turnover, the full court pressure being put on by Corjay. Not a steal in the traditional sense, but directly lead to the turnover. Back to a 5-point ball game and possession for Horizon. Backcourt violation. Mustangs ball. Still not for nothing, though. That turnover still cost the Mustangs 12 seconds. Full timeout called by the Mustangs. That leaves each team with one. Back with an exciting finish from Mustang Arena after a quick break. Welcome back to Mustang Arena, headed toward potentially a photo finish. Wekiva has the possession here. They are going to need to score twice, and at least one of them needs to be a tray. Low pass, and Michaela Bell can't get to it. It's a turnover with open court ahead of Mitchell, and she scores. Amaya Mitchell for two, and that might put this game out of reach. Now a three-possession ball game in 25 seconds. Asanya this time executes the pass correctly, but Bell is not able to convert the tray. Wekiva is not challenging for the foul, so it looks like they may have conceded this one. Asanya knows that she can't foul because she's got four, and we're just going to let the clock run out on this one. That takes us to the end of the ball game. Horizon with the victory under pressure, holding off a valiant comeback attempt by the Mustangs. 51-44 is your final score here on senior night from Mustang Arena. That concludes season 18 of Mustang women's basketball, at least from a home game perspective. Though again, they do have 4 opportunities for you to catch them on the road. The 22nd at West Orange, 24th at Timber Creek, 28th at Lake Highland Prep, and 29th at Bishop Moore. Meanwhile, we do have more home basketball on the boys' side. Coming up, they will be hosting Vanguard. They'll be playing in the Metro tournament against Vanguard tomorrow. They've got 3 away games next week and the following week, but then they will end the season with 2 home games in 2 weeks, Thursday and Friday, the 30th against Ridge Community, the 31st against Cypress Creek, and those will also feature senior night for the men's team. We hope that you'll join us for those as well. Until then, those of you here in the arena, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Those of you watching online, we hope you'll subscribe before you go. We'll see you next time. Good night from Mustang Arena.